Well, I've heard some talk about lions, so I'd like to talk about lions myself. Now, suppose there was a 6-mile tall lion wandering around on the planet, and all the rabbits were against him. Well, the lion, right, let's say in that case it's me, the 6-mile tall lion, would have no chance at all. He would have at least 500 rabbits gnawing at his feet everywhere he went, and at his paws, gnawing at his paws, and he would go absolutely crazy, and he would eventually lose his paws just within 2 or 3 months, and he would die, you see. The lion, a 6-mile tall lion doesn't resist the attack of all the rabbits on the planet if they're all organised, and rabbits are very organised creatures in their instincts. And suppose instead it was the fleas who were against the lion. Well, he would have no chance at all against all the billions of fleas that there are all against him. He would have no chance at all. He would go absolutely crazy, and he would develop the most hideous diseases, and he would collapse within 2 or 3 months at the same, just the same. And suppose it was the mosquitoes who were against him. Well, he would have no chance against all the billions of mosquitoes that there are on the planet. He would be defeated in the same amount of time, 2 or 3 months. And it's like that. Now, spiders might have not so much success, but they could manage as well by crawling up his legs and giving him so many lethal bites that he would, all over his body, that he would be eventually collapse. So spiders could do it, yes. Spiders are often assumed to be sort of evil creatures because they make webs and they lure flies into a trap. But that is just God's way of expressing a side of nature. There is the trap, and the spider, though, does never display a false face. Once the spider arrives, he makes his intentions clear towards the poor trapped fly and gobbles it up as quickly as possible. It's not that he sits there and watches the fly struggling and waits for a few hours. No, as soon as the spider gets back home, the spider eats the fly. So the spider is not actually full of senseless cruelty at all. He simply uses that method of procuring his food. Now, there is of course the mantis, which eats her husband immediately after having sex with him. She bites his head off. Well, that is another dubious example in nature, because God wanted to put all these different examples, Now, well, the mantis, would that have a chance against lions? Not so much chance at all, but some chance the mantis would have of annoying lions, yes. Driving them crazy. Of course, all the insects put themselves together, and the rabbits and everything, they could easily defeat the 6-mile tall lion. But anyway, in any case, any one species on this planet could defeat a 6-mile tall lion. And of course, you people could defeat a 6-mile tall lion. It's quite easy, it just needs a few missiles, that's all. you might have had problems a few hundred years ago, but not now with missiles, etc. You could defeat a 6 mile tall lion quite easily. It would take you a few weeks, but you could do it. Now, the problem is that the lion has a lioness, always. Now, lionesses are noted for their ferocity, and you should always know that the lion has a lioness. Now, when the lioness arrives, now you have the lion and the lioness. Now, the lioness is about 10 times more ferocious than the lion. Slightly smaller, maybe just 5 miles tall, but 10 times more ferocious. Now, with the lion and the lioness working together, you will find that it will take you 10 times as long to beat the lion and the lioness. Now, I wish to tell you this. Now, of course, we're talking about people who are reasonable. If you decided to study the lion's behaviour and to look at it with curiosity and to exploit the 6 mile tall lion for your purposes, then you would find that you may lose against a 6 mile tall lion, which is unheard of because even rabbits win against a 6 mile tall lion. If you decided to mess around with a 6 mile tall lion, that 6 mile tall lion will end up trampling you all to death. Now, of course, also the lion's wife, the lioness, will come along and deal with you all, as she is 10 times more ferocious. Of course, what you have to remember is that the 6 mile tall lion is not alone in his species. He also has a 25 mile tall transsexual lioness looking over him, and discreetly, invisibly moving around him, and a 25 mile tall bisexual lion who is married to the transsexual lioness, and they are both watching over everything, and they are in command of a big team of lions who, some of them are 6 mile tall like this lion, and about 10,000 of them are 6 mile tall like this lion, about 1 million of them are 3 miles tall, and about 10 billion of them are 1 mile tall lions. Right, now, they were hiding, of course. They were sort of hiding, swimming around discreetly in the oceans, and you didn't see them. And when they come along, you have a bit of a problem with 10 billion 1 mile tall lions. Of course, as I said in a previous video I talked about the introduction of 12 million gods and goddesses who were subverted on this planet between 1948 and 1976. Yes, well, that's the truth. They were introduced and they were subverted. But of course they were only 30-foot tall lions, which may have been a mistake or may not have been a mistake, because we didn't want things to be too evident. But we think they got subverted because the females actually had sex with Catholic men, with evil men. Now you see, whereas a good God or good man can actually penetrate an evil woman, a good woman or a good goddess can never be penetrated by an evil man or whatever. It is absolutely disastrous. They need immediate recovery in hospital. They need immediate urgent treatment with psychic treatment by expert psychiatrists. And an expert psychiatrist knows how to treat a soul. He has all the machinery to do it. He has to be a god that really knows what he's doing. They can't be just treated by anybody, any old person. In nature, normally the gods are treated by the Animal Rights Association or are brilliant doctors. And they're treated by the doctor gods of the Animal Rights Association. And anyway, the 6 mile tall lion has a 6 mile tall lioness, or 5 mile tall, however we want to imagine, but she is 10 times or 20 times more ferocious at least. And of course, as you see, a lion has a pride, has lots of lionesses. Well, the lion, the 6 mile tall lion, also has a pride of lionesses. Not only his principal wife, but a lot of other wives as well. So everything gets more and more difficult. And then of course the 6 mile tall lion actually has a father who is a long way away, who is coordinating all the other enormous lions to step in and help his son. And he has a 6 mile tall mother as well. And this is the whole problem of challenging a 6 mile tall lion. Do you know just what kind of you see, it's rare that a 6 mile tall lion sporadically appears without having other 6 mile tall lions behind him. And this you should notice. You see, only you people could make this mistake, you see, because the rabbits wouldn't make this mistake. You see, the rabbits would probably all leave the lion alone or they would defeat him immediately. But if they try defeating him in a loyal fashion, they will be treated loyally by nature. If they used unloyal methods, then they would be treated in the most cruel methods, with the most cruel methods possible by nature. So that's a discourse on lions, etc. And we have noticed over the years that you people resist to arsenic and strychnine, and you only resist to it when you're near to me. On other occasions you don't resist to it, you pretend to die, you know. But when you're near to me, you can drink a glass full of strychnine, and or with a small quantity of strychnine in it without feeling ill. Of course, that's because your power concentrates itself around me, you see. Now, of course, these rabbits would be the same. The rabbit's power would be concentrating itself around the lion, and they would be biting the lion's feet off. the flea power would be concentrating itself around the lion, and the fleas would be devastating that lion, driving it absolutely bonkers, the 6 mile tall lion, and whatever. But you see, you people have the attitude of messing around with the 6 mile tall lion. You see, the rabbits wouldn't able to, or they would decide to leave immediately to leave the 6 mile tall lion alone, and to respect the 6 mile tall lion, or they would decide to immediately attack the 6 mile tall lion with loyal methods. If you use any unloyal methods, deceitful methods, you'll find you'll lose against the lion, because the lion is known for its loyalty, its courage, the way the lion fights against another lion without actually damaging it. Doesn't damage the other lion to the point that he fights and then he surrenders and then he wanders off to die. He collapses after about 3 miles and is set on by the hyenas. The hyenas are the sort of the mercy brigade of the savannah. They immediately set on and kill any animal who is weak, and or has broken a leg or anything like that. They have special ugly faces, you know, because animals have to do that job, have to have ugly faces, not nice faces, obviously. That's sincerity in nature. And of course there's the exception, there's the mantis which bites its own husband's head off, but I think its husband knows about it. I think its husband is just so, I think the orgasm that the husband has is so long that it's worth doing it, even though he's going to get his head bitten off. I think that's the whole procedure. I think it's sort of in the game sort of stuff. A very strange game may seem to the person that witnesses it, but I think the husband knows that he's going to get his head bitten off. And lions that are 6 miles tall cannot be easily defeated, because a lion has courage, a lion has tenacity, a lion is a lion. Of course, he depends on his lioness and his lionesses, his whole pride of lionesses, and he's very tender with his cubs. He is brutal when he wins against another lion and takes over the pride, because he slaughters all the cubs belonging to the other lion. But that's in the game, you see. Lions do not adopt other lions' cubs, they slaughter them. Otherwise they are very loyal and courageous beings, you see, and that's what the lion symbolises in nature. Because God wanted every creature not only to have a shape that was artistic, but for it to have a symbolism in nature. And I'd like to say that you people are neither rabbits, nor fleas, nor mosquitoes, nor mantises, nor spiders, nor nothing. You people are unnothings. Now, unnothings means that you are neither nothing, because nothing is harmless to nature. Nothing doesn't do any harm to nature. You people just create harm, create damages. So you are classified as unnothings, actually. Now, I wouldn't like being classified as an unnothing, but you people are classified as unnothings. And unnothingness cannot beat a lion who is something. And they cannot beat all the blades of grass in nature on the zillions of gargantuans to the power of planets that there are. And they cannot beat all the gods that are in all the zillions of gargantuans of monoliths that exist. They cannot beat the entire force of nature, the structure, the intelligence behind it. So, you people who are tiny have wreaked havoc in nature. You see, your size is absolutely tiny, but you wreaked havoc to giant structures in nature. And with evil power. Now, evil power is sort of almost unlimited, but luckily evil power in itself is more intelligent than you people. Actually, evil as an entity is more intelligent. It doesn't want to suffer for eternity, because evil was created. It didn't come to exist by itself. Because if it did come to exist by itself, it would be responsible. And so Toy Girl didn't want to create the power of good and allow the power of evil to come to exist by itself, so it would be responsible. Toy Girl at the beginning of time created the power of good and the power of evil together, so that evil would not be responsible. Who would be responsible then? Well, the people who would be responsible would be anybody who actually used evil. Anyone who operated through evil would be responsible, because it is the obligation to fight against evil everywhere. Evil simply balances good. It is a fundamental force in nature, but it has to be fought against all the time, and it's quite easy to fight against it. But it's not easy to fight against you people, who are so microscopic. Even though you have a zillion gargantuan planets, that's nothing. That's a tiny twiningth of all the planets existing in nature. It's a nanoscopic portion of the entities existing in nature. And you are tiny in size, of course, I repeat, because the gods in the monoliths, they all have a rule of light year per foot, a star light year per foot, because everything is measured in star light years, because ball light years are very, very fast. Those are the metaphysical balls that warm the egg trays. The eggs contain the massives that contain the galaxies, etc. And those are inside the eggs. And there's only 3 fertile eggs for each egg tray, which contains a zillion eggs floating in a special liquid, special protective liquid. Well, you see, all this gargantuan structure cannot be easily defeated. In 30,000 months recently, in nature time, because nature time was running 10,000 times faster than your time, then we recently accelerated your time, the time in Destin's egg, this egg is called. The egg is 1,000 zillion light years in diameter. Now, we accelerated time in this egg so it was equal to nature time, because normally any egg that has rebels inside it, we empty it of everything else and we decelerate the time so it is 10,000 times slower. So we can watch every finger movement, everything, because those finger movements are dangerous. We can watch out for everything. The movements of babies in the wombs are dangerous. They are just as dangerous when they are still in the wombs as or even more dangerous when they are still in the wombs than when they are actually already born. And then I'd like to talk about some people who come into the world, as you say, who are excused. Those are the people with the Down syndrome. It is a possibility that everyone who is evil has, when they are born inside, when they are conceived inside an egg in their mother's belly, to choose to become a Down's baby. If they are Down's baby, they are incapable of actually creating any havoc with their hand movements, or any gestures they make, or any thoughts that they make. Their thoughts will not create havoc, their actions will not create havoc. They are harmless in nature. They enter into nature with their hands up like this. This is a sign of surrender to be a Down's child. So when the army arrived, as it did arrive, on the earth, then all Downs people found were not sent to hell. A difficult operation was done on them, because it's very difficult to cause death to a Downs person. It's very difficult indeed. It's very difficult to cause death to any evil person, you see. And it's equally difficult to cause death to a Downs person, but the gods know how to do it. They know how to terminate evil people. So they were terminated. So they don't exist anymore. They're not suffering in any place at all. They're not going down a tube, a snaky tube like this, that is boiling hot inside and they're freezing cold outside. No, they are actually dead and not suffering any longer. So anyway, I'll close this video like that. So remember that the 6 mile tall lion is not as easy to defeat as you would think. Of course, positive humans would defeat him immediately. But if they wanted to. But it's most likely that positive humans would ask, since they are in contact with their gods, they would ask their gods, why is a 6 mile lion wandering around and squashing everything around on our planet? And the gods would answer them and tell them why, and tell them if they had permission to attack it. First, they would ask their gods first whether they had permission to attack it, you see. But anyway, you people are very different. You are rebels against nature. That's all I have to say for this video.